Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I've just been upgraded to the WOW suite here at the W Doha. You can see they've got these crazy disco colors up there, as well as these super extravagant curtains in the living room. So I'm going to make a quick video today. I think it's finally time to reveal exactly how I managed to get these awesome suite upgrades like 90 to 95% of the time when I'm staying at hotels. And really, there's only like 3 simple steps that I follow, which I'm going to share with you in this video. So let's get started. Alright, so I've addressed this topic in the past on a few blog posts on princeoftravel.com, and I also briefly touched upon it when I made a video about how to raise your hotel game, how to get more out of your hotel stays in general. But today I wanted to focus on the upgrade process, getting those free upgrades from whatever room that you originally booked to a better room in the hotel, or even a suite with larger square footage to enjoy, or even one of the best suites in the house. Now, this is one of those things in travel where everybody out there seems to have their own opinion as to what you should be doing when you want to ask for a free upgrade. These are the steps that have worked for myself in the past that didn't require me to slip somebody $20 upon check-in, so I hope you find them useful and that you're able to try implementing them for yourself as well. Okay, so the first key ingredient that's required for any of this to work is you gotta have hotel status of some kind. Obviously, the higher your hotel status, the better, but you're gonna need at least the sort of the middle tier of hotel statuses in one of the major programs. And for the purposes of this video, we're gonna focus on Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton Honors because they're sort of the programs that I'm most familiar with, and also arguably the easiest programs to participate in because of the credit cards issued by American Express in Canada and the United States. You're going to be aiming for at least Marriott Gold Elite and Hilton Gold Elite because these two status levels are going to entitle you to room upgrades to a higher category room. Now you might be thinking, this isn't going to be for me because I don't have either of these hotel statuses. Well, the good news is you can earn both of these statuses instantly, Marriott's Gold and Hilton Gold, simply by applying for an American Express Platinum card. One of the key travel benefits of the Platinum card in both Canada and the United States is going to be instant gold status with both of these programs. So as soon as you have the card, you're instantly gold with both Marriott and Hilton, and you're eligible to start asking for those room upgrades whenever you book a hotel. Now, gold status with both Marriott and Hilton entitles you to a room upgrade, which means you might get a higher category room that's not necessarily a larger suite like this one with a living room as well. If you can achieve an even higher level of status, such as Marriott Bonvoy's Platinum or Titanium or Hilton Diamond status, then that's what's going to entitle you to these amazing suite upgrades. With Marriott, earning Platinum status isn't necessarily going to be easy because you do need to get those 50 elite qualifying nights to qualify for Platinum. The credit card gives you 15 elite nights, but then you still have to stay 35 nights per year to make up the difference. Whereas with Hilton, you can instantly earn the top tier Hilton Diamond status simply by signing up for an American Express US Hilton Aspire card. Anyway, that covers the minimum status levels that you need to have in order to play the upgrade game properly. Now let's talk about my actual 3-step formula for asking for those suite upgrades, or as I like to call it, sweet talking the hotels. Step 1. A few days before my stay, I chat with the hotel over the app in order to let them know how excited I am to stay at the hotel, and also to ask them, hey, as a gold member, as a platinum member, as a titanium member, I would love to be upgraded to this room or this suite if it's available for my stay. Now, I used to be a proponent of emailing the hotel in advance of my stay, but these days I actually prefer chatting on the app instead. I just find that it's a lot more personal this way, and it's a lot easier to make conversation with the hotel staff and kind of encourage them to give me an upgrade rather than an email where they sometimes might just shoot back a generic response saying, we'll see if there's any rooms or suites upon check-in and we'll let you know. Now, when you're chatting with the hotel, there's no need to hold back at all, right? Like, you should mention any details possible that'll encourage the hotel to treat you nicely or make you happy during your stay. So for example, if you're traveling for a special occasion, whether it's your birthday or your spouse's birthday or your kid's birthday, or it's your first time visiting a country, or even if it's your first time in a new city and you're staying at the hotel there, make sure to drop in as many of those details as possible and really make it seem like you're super enthusiastic to be staying at the hotel, and that'll encourage the hotel staff to think, maybe we should treat them to like a bit of a special surprise and give them this upgrade that they're asking for. Usually when I'm doing it, I'll open with, hey there, I'm super excited to be staying with you in a few days' time. It'll be my first time in this place or my first time in this country, or it'll be my first ever stay with your brand, and I'm super excited to see how it turns out. As a Titanium member, I'm wondering if this suite might be available for my stay. And keep in mind what we talked about earlier, where if you're a Platinum or Titanium member with Marriott or a Hilton Diamond, then you should definitely be asking for the exact suite that you want because you are entitled to a suite upgrade. Whereas if you're a Gold member in either program, then you can ask for a higher room that you'd like, or you can even try your luck asking for a suite as well, because the worst thing that the hotel can do is say no. So yeah, generally speaking, a few days before your stay, open the app, look up which rooms and suites are available for your dates, choose one that you really like, and then make your request over the chat function. I am losing daylight here. Anyway, once you've chatted with the hotel a few days in advance of your stay, what's going to happen? Well, you got to keep in mind that as per the terms and conditions of the loyalty programs, you're only really entitled to suite upgrades and room upgrades subject to availability upon check-in. And so what that means is, while the hotel could possibly do you a favor and confirm your upgrade a few days in advance, they're really under no obligation to do so. So if you do chat with the hotel a few days before and get your upgrade confirmed in advance, well done, you should consider yourself very lucky. But what's more likely to happen is that the hotel staff will reply to you and say, your preference has been noted and we'll do our best to honor your preference upon arrival. So if that happens, and it's quite likely that it will, then my step 2 in the process is to reach back out to the hotel over chat on the morning of the arrival. So not quite when you arrive at the hotel, but rather in the morning, you reach back out and you say, hey, I'm just checking in to see whether this room or this suite might be available for tonight. By the way, for your information, my arrival time is 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or 10 p.m. I like to throw in that little piece of information there about my arrival time as well, just so the hotel knows when they can expect me, and also to help them manage their inventory and see whether a suite or a room might be available at that particular hour for me to check into. In any case, reaching back out to the hotel in the morning of the stay acts as a bit of a gentle reminder to the staff that you're going to be arriving later and that you have indicated your preference for a certain room type or suite type. So actually, in my experience, I found that many hotels are able and willing to confirm that upgrade for you on the morning of, even though you haven't actually arrived on the property to check in yet. So in a large number of cases, just by reaching out and reminding them in the morning, you can get your upgrade confirmed before you even arrive at the hotel. So let's say the hotel isn't able to confirm the upgrade either a few days in advance or on the morning of your stay. Then it's time to ask upon checking in. Now, asking for an upgrade in person kind of feels a little bit more brazen, if you will, than asking over the chat, right? Because you're kind of almost putting the hotel on the spot a little bit and saying like, hey, I'm entitled to this room or suite upgrade, can I please have what I'm entitled to? So you never want to come across as rude or pushy about it. Instead, you're just asking nicely and politely about, one of the benefits that you're actually entitled to under the Elite program. So usually if I'm checking into the hotel and the staff member says, oh, you've been assigned to this room that you had booked, with the implication that there's no upgrade, then I'll just say something like, oh, I was wondering if there's any suites available. Or if you're a gold member, you might say, oh, I'm just wondering if there are any higher category rooms available or any rooms on higher floors or perhaps with a better view. And usually after you ask the question, the hotel staff is usually willing to double check in their system one more time, especially if you've already indicated your preference beforehand on the chat app multiple times. And at this point, the hotel staff might come back with a few different answers. They might say, oh yes, we actually do have a suite that's available. And in this case, you'll know that the hotel simply didn't want to give you the suite in the first place. Maybe they thought that they'd be better off selling it for cash for somebody else for the night, but you pushed for it enough and got what you wanted in the end, so that's a very good outcome. The staff might also say something like, yes, there's a suite that's available, but it's being cleaned right now and you'll have to wait a few hours for it to be ready. In which case, it's up to you whether you want to wait a little bit in the lobby or the bar for your suite to be ready, or you're happy to just take the room that you've been given and go straight to your room. And finally, there's always the possibility that they might still say, sorry, we don't have any higher room categories available, or sorry, we don't have any suites available tonight. We've already upgraded you to a better category room. You're just going to have to take it, basically. At this point, ultimately, if you've been denied the upgrade that you requested, I know some people might choose to take out their app and say, hey, look at the list of available rooms for tonight. I see that this suite is still on sale. How come you're not giving it to me as a platinum or titanium upgrade? But I personally don't like to resort to that, because just because a room is available for sale doesn't mean that the hotel is necessarily comfortable giving it away as a free upgrade. And I don't really like for my hotel stays to begin on a note of basically accusing them of lying to my face. Ultimately, in the game of upgrades, as long as you follow these 3 simple steps, you're going to win most of the time. But there's also going to be stays when you just don't get the upgrade that you want, and so you're just going to have to keep in mind that you win most of the time, but you can't win them all. Finally, let's talk a little bit about why this works so well, because I actually find it quite interesting to think about. Most people's attitude is sort of like, if I get the upgrade, fantastic. If I don't get the upgrade, aw shucks, there's nothing I can really do about it. So in light of that, just by casually and politely chatting with the hotel to let them know of your preference for a room or a suite upgrade, you're already getting a huge advantage on top of the vast majority of other people staying at the hotel in terms of the priority for getting that upgrade. After all, every time you stay at a hotel, everybody there literally just wants to make you happy. And they want to make sure you have a good experience so that you'll come back and stay with them again. So essentially, all you're doing is you're saying, here's exactly what's going to make me happy. And you're seeing if the hotel bites. And I mean, even if you're just a gold member, which as you'll recall can be earned simply by having the American Express Platinum card, then you're only entitled to room upgrades technically, or upgrades to a higher category room and not suites. But you may as well also ask for suite upgrades if you want, because if the hotel does have any suites available and there doesn't happen to be any, platinums or titaniums or diamonds staying there on the same night, and the hotel wants to make you happy, then they might just give it to you. So anyway, we've just gone over my 3-point strategy for asking for upgrades when staying at hotels, which lands me an upgrade of some kind, most often these amazing suites, on about 90 to 95% of my hotel stays. You start with at least the middle range of status levels in the major hotel chains, which you can obtain simply by having the American Express Platinum card. And then whenever you've booked a hotel stay, you request the upgrade a few days in advance politely via the chat service, and then you repeat that request on the morning of your arrival. And finally, if it's still not been granted, you ask politely upon check-in to see if you might get that higher room or that suite. And overall, looking at the big picture, I think this is one of the best examples of the human element in maximizing your travel, right? Asking people for stuff that you're entitled to, making your wishes known, and thereby getting the best experience possible. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video and you've learned something from it. If so, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the Prince of Travel YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button below the video. And let me know in the comments, have you had success with chatting with the hotel before your stay for a room upgrade or a suite upgrade? And what's the best upgrade that you've ever gotten at a hotel? I'll see you in the next video. If you can achieve an even higher level of status, such as if you can achieve, now when you're writing your chat, don't hold back at all, right? Now when you're writing your chat, when you're chatting with a hotel, you shouldn't hold back at all.